This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Oklahoma Sports Network, this is Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray. We're at Carl Albert High School for the Class 5A Regional Championship games here at 3:30 tip-off. It is the Carl Albert Lady Titans hosting the crosstown rivals, Midwest City Lady Bombers, and that makes it exciting for Jordan especially. I know it makes it exciting for other fans too.
Listen, Tracy, when it comes to figuring out where I'm going to be for regionals or area, I basically paraphrase a Bible verse, so you'll appreciate this. My motto is, where two or more Mid-Del teams are gathered, there I am with them. So that's how I figure out where to go to area. If there's two Mid-Del teams at one location, that's the location I'm going to go in. And if I can do that for regionals, which doesn't happen as often in regionals on the boys' side, it never happens. But the girls' side, this is 3 times in a row that Carl Albert has hosted a Mid-Del team for regionals. Del City the last 2 years. You remember last year's game? That was a classic.
Absolutely.
And then we'll see what happens with this year's game. And it's important to talk real quick about where we're at. So this is how the graphic looks like for Carl Albert Midwest City in the regional championship. And then you may wonder, well, what happens if who wins and who loses? Because this is not an elimination game. We're going to see who wins this game between Classen SAS and Guyman going on at the same time. We'll talk about locations here in just a moment.
It looks like it's time for national anthem here in the gymnasium as well.
Yep. So we'll take a quick break right here.
Whataburger, please print back the Monterey melt. Print back. Okay, yeah, message received. We're printing it back. Grilled peppers and onions, 2 slices of melty cheese, and jalapeno ranch on 2 fresh beef patties. Bring it on. The Whataburger Monterey melt is back. We brunched it all right. What a burger.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and ask yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light, and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
Call Rob and Will.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray, back at Carl Albert High School for Class 5A Regional Championship games, brought to you by Confident Chevrolet Buick GMC, your hometown dealer for new and pre-owned vehicles. Visit Confident Chevrolet Buick GMC today. Exit Hudaburg at 6100 Peaker Diagonal, Midwest City. Confidence is Cavender. Our starting lineups being introduced out on the court right now. The visiting team, the Midwest City Bombers, being introduced. Our starting lineups brought to you by Dynamic Health Clinic. At Dynamic Health Clinic, Dr. Kaufman specializes in athletic injuries and is able to get athletes back in action very quickly using a system called Advanced Muscle Integration. Play better and recover faster at Dynamic Health Clinic. Starting lineup for Midwest City, coached by Megan Malloy Knight. A 5'6" junior, number 3, Sadie Johnson. A 5'5" junior, number 12, Kennedy Downer. A 5'7" junior, number 13, 7 Miller. A 5'8" senior, number 1, Chloe Knox. And playing down low, the 5'10" senior, number 0, Layla Jones. Your starting lineup for the Carl Albert Lady Titans, coached by Kyle Ritchie with a record of 25-1 on the season. A 5'2" sophomore, number 3, Hayden Harrell. A 5'8" sophomore, number 21, Malia Hatchett. A 5'7" junior, number 15, Jakari Brown. A 5'11" junior, number 22, Audrey Plunkett, and the only senior in the starting lineup for the Carl Albert Lady Titans. A 5'3" senior, number 11, Evie Mitchell.
All right, we'll talk more about, again, destinations later on, but talking about this game in particular, the big question is, can Midwest City score? Can they score consistently? Can they score often? They have just not been doing that this season in the tougher against the tougher opponents. From a matchup standpoint, I'll be interested to see does Seven Miller get matched up with Audrey Plunkett. That would be a heck of a matchup between two pretty talented juniors.
Plunkett and Jones tipping off against one another. And Midwest City gets the opening tip. First quarter brought to you by Scrambled. We start this game the way you should start your day. For breakfast or brunch, try their chicken and pancakes and deep fried French toast. 1742 Northeast 23rd Street, Suite A, Oklahoma City. 405-900-5972. Scrambled for breakfast.
Travel on Layla Jones, and this was almost two dead live ball turnovers. That means the other team's stealing the ball on you by Midwest City when they threw it to the elbow. Carl Albert's been looking to make those steals, but we do have that matchup I was talking about on one end, and that Audrey Plunkett is guarding Seven Miller, but on the other end, Layla Jones is guarding Plunkett. Can she stay in front of Plunkett and contest the threes?
And Midwest City playing good defense all year long, as you mentioned earlier, just struggling to score. And when we talked to the Midwest City coach and players both yesterday, that was the thing that they had to hang their hat on, was playing good defense. Plunkett finds her way to the basket and gets the first bucket of the ball game.
And Midwest City gave up a couple backdoor plays against Noble. You see strong move there from Seven Miller. Also a big factor in this game, Seven Miller, can she stay out of foul trouble? But she's going to have a hard time looking for a shot because Plunkett's got several inches on her. But I don't think Seven Miller will have the speed advantage on Plunkett.
Well, Plunkett picks up the first foul of the basketball game. Midwest City sets their offense back up. Knox for three. Back iron, no good. Jones with the rebound, misses the putback attempt. Battling for it. Loose ball picked up by Mitchell, and here come the Lady Titans.
She does so many things right, this Layla Jones, but finishing has just been a struggle at times. She has to make those against teams like Carl Albert.
We're going to have a jump ball here as we have Hayden Harrell just laying belly on the ball on the floor. Possession arrow will stay with Carl Albert as Midwest City had won the opening tip.
I think Carl Albert is intending for Midwest City to overplay them on the perimeter. That's how they got their last backdoor play. Will they do some more of that?
Brown missed a three from the left wing on that previous, or the beginning of this possession, if you will. Mitchell inbounded the ball, and now just a handoff out top. Strong defense by Chloe Knox.
Yeah, they're switching on handoffs, this Midwest City.
Harrell resets the offense for the Lady Titans. Mitchell wide open under the basket. Plunkett goes on in herself, and she has 4 points.
Well, Plunkett's is going to be a load, and yeah, Mitchell was wide open. The paint was wide open. And so Plunkett did have Mitchell open, but it probably made the better play because she knows she can finish. Mitchell may have had a hard time finishing around the basket there.
Well, Knox threw the ball away. She stepped on the timeline as well, so it could have been a turnover a couple of ways.
Oh, nice steal for Layla Jones. Can she finish in transition? Nice pump fake. That's when she's been able to. We're going to get some replays here, Tracy. She finished twice in transition against Noble. Those were two big plays that helped Midwest City keep Noble at bay.
And our instant replay is brought to you by Super Subs, where they have the chicken Phillies. Try the deluxe buffalo or barbecue chicken. Knox with the rebound off the Carl Albert miss. Johnson on the right wing. Passes right back to Knox. You know, Jones looked really awkward making that little jump stop down there a minute ago, but it was effective. So she kind of forced herself into it, and it worked for her.
It was a smart move because Audrey Plunkett was right on her.
Seven Miller right to the basket, and we're tied up 4-4.
And that's something that they haven't had a lot of, is some player just attacking the basket and finishing in traffic. Seven Miller was switched off from Audrey Plunkett and took advantage of that matchup.
Hatchett on the right wing, gives it back to Harrell. Harrell trying to drive on Jones, gets around her, but Jones swats that one out of bounds.
So Harrell's thinking, okay, I got the starting center for Midwest City guarding me. I'm going to try to take her off the dribble, and did get the step, but Layla Jones does move her feet real well. She's a good defensive player, and she recovered extremely well on that play.
Such a significant height advantage enabled that play as well. Hatchett has the ball stripped away by Seven Miller. That's 3 turnovers for each team now. Knox looking inside. Jones posted up against Plunkett. Knox drives in traffic, shot up, kind of an ugly shot, hits high off the backboard, rebound Carl Albert.
Yeah, she's got to be told either throw the ball inside to Layla, give her a chance, or, reverse the ball. But that move was in traffic. That had no chance.
Plunkett, nice step, finds her way to the basket. She has all 6 points for Carl Albert.
And she is getting inside at will. And Midwest City, they have got to have help players against her, but she cut back door on one play and got 2 easy baskets driving with the ball herself.
Downer drives in, dishes the ball to Miller. A good play. Miller can't finish. Harrell on the fast break loses the handle on the ball and then comes out and resets the offense. Brown for 3, in and out. Jones with the rebound, takeaway.
Hatchett made that play. We'll get that on the replay.
There's the Super Subs instant replay. Hatchett got the steal. Jakari Brown finishes with the bucket. Full court man defense by Carl Albert. Mitchell got a hand on that ball, and now Miller goes in, just throws that one up in the air, and that really should be a travel.
It should. Coach Ritchie was asking for one. There, Layla Jones still has it, so Midwest City got away with one there.
That should have been a backcourt as well. Downer come hopping across the timeline to catch the pass. You have to establish presence in the front court before you touch the ball. Jones.
Now that's a good job there by Midwest City, because Layla Jones, most of the time, she's going to be guarded by Hatchett, and she definitely has a size advantage on Malia Hatchett. And maybe that's what Coach Knight's going to call a timeout for, is to say, hey, we need to do that all the time, or she's going to call a 30-second timeout probably to figure out, this is probably more true, how are they going to defend against Audrey Plunkett?
And Coach Ritchie took the opportunity to talk to the officials about, I'm sure, a couple of those calls on that last possession as well.
I want to say something about one of those you mentioned, and I think you're right, but that timeline, this Carl Albert floor, is hard to see because it's not in black over the middle there. So
it's actually, and outside of the logo in the middle, it just almost is non-existent.
Right.
You're correct.
We're talking about the middle of that floor. Everyone who's watching can see us what we're talking about because it's on the camera shot right now. But that's a hard thing for the refs to visualize, and that may have been why that turnover on Downer was not called.
Good call, Jordan. Carl Albert ball coming out of the timeout. 2:50 to play in the first period. The first period brought to you by Scrambled. Jakari Brown out top. Janae Say in the ball game for Midwest City. She adds some height to that top of that defense.
And she was guarding Plunkett, so maybe she's brought in to defend Plunkett. Makes a good attempt at the block there, but they're going to say there was some contact. We'll see that again.
Looked like a good defensive play. You see it on the Super Subs instant replay here.
I have to agree. I didn't see contact, but they'll say there was some contact in our first Toonie Buys Houses free throws.
Jakari Brown at the line, shooting the 2 free throws. Toonie Buys Houses in any condition, folks. If you or someone you know needs to sell a home for any reason, call today for a cash offer, 405-931-3046. Brown misses the front end of the 2 free throws and misses both of them. A little unusual for Jakari Brown to go dry at the line in 2 attempts.
Now, Janae Say played a really good game against Noble. Her offensive rebounding was a big factor in that win for Midwest City.
Johnson dribbling a lot, and did we get a 5-second call?
Yeah.
Nope. 3 seconds in the lane.
So, again, this is where Midwest City can struggle in the half-court offense. They can be stagnant, just a little unsure of themselves.
Plunkett brings the ball up the court. Say meets her near half court. Picks up her dribble, dishes to Jordan Richardson, who's checked into the game. The amazing freshman that comes off the bench for the Carl Albert Lady Titans, and she draws the foul. Headed to the line for the Toonie Buys Houses free throws.
She just knows what to do. Well, it's on the floor, it looks like. So I take back these Toonie Byhouse's free throws here. But, again, her instincts.
Sure looked like a shooting foul, didn't it?
Yeah. We're having some disagreements with the refs early, Tracy, on a few things.
Yeah, and again, it's not because they're calling a bad game. It just looks differently from our angle. That's all.
That's all.
Jones gets the rebound off a Plunkett miss. And Say misses one off the glass.
Oh,
battles,
got it back.
Gets her own rebound. Missed shot again. Harrell pushing it up the court. Richardson runs the court well. Harrell for Richardson under the basket. She dribbles in traffic, loses the ball, picks it up. Plunkett for three. No good. Rebound Knox. She finds Jones in the middle of the court. And Jones loses her dribble, picked up by Richardson, and here come the Lady Titans again. Richardson drives to the basket, misses the layup. Rebound
sloppy.
Knox.
A little sloppy here. But these defenses are really locked in.
And
the defenses are definitely ahead of the offense right now.
Jakari Brown gets called for the foul, her first personal, second team foul.
So Evie Mitchell will come back in. Because of Midwest City's man defense, Carl Albert has not shot many threes. That's very unusual for them, but they're definitely, like a lot of teams, much more likely to shoot a three against a zone defense.
Kinley Sutton is in the game as well for Carl Albert as Malia Hatchett took a seat. Jones out top, driving on Sutton, going to get the and one. Here's the super subs instant replay on the nice play by Layla Jones.
The senior took the sophomore to school there. Again, Layla Jones has some favorable matchups. If she's not being guarded by Plunkett, she can score against these other Carl Albert players.
And we're tied up 8-8, and Jones has the opportunity with the Toonie Byhouse's free throw to put Midwest City on top.
And that is a way for Midwest City in the half court. Look at Layla Jones on offense.
Sutton gets the rebound. Brown brings the ball up the court for Carl Albert. Johnson on D. Jordan Richardson driving, pivots, puts up the floater, in and out. Rebound Say. 39 seconds to play in the first. Johnson. Evie Mitchell on D. Downer gets around. Brown pulls up. Johnson for three. Boom! It's the Bobby Lewis Insurance three for Sadie Johnson, and we have the first lead for Midwest City, 11-8. Bobby Lewis Insurance with surprisingly great rates in two locations to serve you, Choctaw and Del City. Call them in Choctaw at 405-281-6700. Final seconds of the first period here. Plunkett goes in, high off the glass, misses a shot. Richardson battles. Sutton kicks it out. Plunkett throws one up at the buzzer off the glass, no good. And after one period of play, it's the Midwest City Lady Bombers leading the Carl Albert Lady Titans 11-8 here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
How can you describe Whataburger's honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich? The chicken just has a certain... And then there's the sauce that just gives you a little bit of... And the cheese, it's the exact right amount of... It's almost too hard to put it into... Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. The honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich at Whataburger. Just like you like it.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Bussett, Jordan Ray back at Carl Albert High School, where the Midwest City Lady Bombers lead the Carl Albert Lady Titans 11-8 as we begin the Buffalo Wild Wings second period of play. Jordan, what's your thoughts on the first period?
Well, early on the period, I wasn't sure if Midwest City was going to be able to do anything against Audrey Plunkett. She was scoring at will. I think when Coach Knight called a timeout, a 30-second timeout, she adjusted her defense, told them, hey, we got to have more players helping with Audrey Plunkett. And on that last possession for the Titans, she cut to the basket. She did receive a pass, but there were two Bombers to meet her, and that forced a miss.
We are underway. Midwest City gets the ball to begin the second period. Johnson has it now. Downer out top. Man defense by Carl Albert. Jones pops out, takes the pass, driving on Hatchett, pivots into Plunkett, puts the shot up. It goes wild out of bounds, and they haven't decided which way the ball's going yet. Carl Albert basketball. Evie Mitchell inbounding the ball back into the court for Carl Albert. Plunkett brings the ball up the court. Say moved on D, meets Plunkett. Jakari Brown driving into the paint. Say on her now as they have switched. Richardson just inside the free throw line puts up the 13-foot jumper. Shot no good. Downer dribbles down the court. We've got a foul called on Carl Albert. It'll be the first team foul on Carl Albert. That one called on Jordan Richardson.
I want to remind people also we have Del City and Altus playing not too far from here. Del City Eagles looking for their first regional championship in 5 years, where 5 years ago they beat Altus.
Layla Jones has the ball tipped away from her. She inbounded it, posted up, couldn't get the pass, turnover. Mitchell for three from the corner, front of the rim, shot no good. Rebound Johnson for Midwest City.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I think that's the second three-point attempt for Carl Albert as they get a steal.
Richardson forces the steal. Mitchell's going to get the and one.
Leave it to Jordan Richardson to take my thought away there.
Sadie Johnson gets called for the foul. That'll be her first personal foul, first team foul on Midwest City. Evie Mitchell gets the Toonie Buys Houses free throw. Again, you call Toonie Buys Houses for a cash offer for any reason on a house today. 405-931-3046. And Carl Albert's 0 for 3 at the line now on the miss by Evie Mitchell.
And then a bad foul for Jordan Richardson because it's her second. And that's one where, you're lined up along the free throw line. You got to be careful about going for that ball if the player behind you or in front of you has enough space on you there.
Knox inbounds the ball to Downer. Full court man by Carl Albert. Mitchell staying with Johnson. Johnson steps around her, and a foul's called on Mitchell.
I got to credit Midwest City. They're playing the best I've seen them in weeks. And Coach Knight told me at the end of the broadcast, you remember, Tracy, that Carl Albert has not seen their defense before or they're up very often, and she's been right so far. Midwest City's defense has frustrated Carl Albert for the most part, other than some Audrey Plunkett layups.
1 point lead, and did we have a offensive foul away from the ball on Janae Say? It's her second personal foul, second team foul.
So Seven Miller will come back in.
11-10. Now, this could make a difference and open things back up for Plunkett, because it's when Say came in earlier that things kind of shut down for Plunkett in the paint.
But I think some of that was team defense, too, so we'll see. She's going at him right now. See how that helper came really quickly. Kennedy Downer got to the paint really well there to make it hard for Plunkett, so we'll see if Midwest City keeps playing with that type of help defense.
Plunkett knew she was cut off, tried to make the pass across the baseline. Ball hit the feet of Midwest City, went out of bounds. Mitchell to inbound. Harrell in the corner. Dribbles out. Downer on D right now. Plunkett defended by Miller. Brown fouled, going to the hole, called on Knox. Knox.
Yeah, if you're Chloe Knox, you can't keep your eye off Jakari Brown for 1 second, and when she cuts like that, you got to be ready to kind of get in front of her.
3 team fouls on each team 2 minutes into this second period. Second period brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, and it is Jakari Brown connecting on the first made free throw of the game for Carl Albert. The Toonie Buys Houses free throws.
One of the things that I think Carl Albert's been really good at this year is moving well without the ball, and they need to get back to that. They've been doing that well at times, but they've kind of lost that against Midwest City. They got it back with that foul and 2 free throws because of that cut by Jakari Brown.
1 point lead for Carl Albert. Buffalo Wild Wings, folks, located at 5500 Tinker Diagonal in Del City. They offer buy one, get one wing deals every Tuesday and Thursday. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Just another over-aggressive foul. We saw one on Jordan Richardson for Carl Albert. Now we see one on Seven Miller. It's only her first, but the problem with that foul is that's now 4 on Midwest City. We still have 5:40 to go in the second quarter. So 14 fouls on the Bombers, so they're in the penalty right now.
And 3 already on Carl Albert. We're liable to see a lot of free throws in this second period. Nice dish from Audrey Plunkett to Jakari Brown.
Oh, so many of the points for Carl Albert, except for that and one by Abby Mitchell, have been created by Audrey Plunkett. Either she's scoring or assisting right now. And if they continue to have trouble to score, talking about Carl Albert, you could see Audrey Plunkett maybe play the rest of the game, unless she gets in foul trouble.
3-point lead now. 6 points for Jakari Brown, 6 points for Audrey Plunkett. The other 2 points for Carl Albert coming from Evie Mitchell. Johnson for 3. In and out. Jakari Brown with the rebound. Knox just backing down the court, staying with Jakari Brown. Screen set.
Bombers switching every high screen.
No one left open on that play. Now Plunkett, left wing, drives. Seven Miller cuts her off. Smart D by Midwest City. Knox and Plunkett get tangled up on the floor. Mitchell misses the 3 and Knox gets the rebound.
Only made 3 of the game is Midwest City, Sadie Johnson.
Jones in the paint. Called for the travel, yeah.
It's such a good idea, but she's just too eager. But no question she was shuffling her feet. She's frustrated, but she just has to compose herself, and I wouldn't give up on that yet, but her last 2 attacks to the basket have not resulted well for Midwest City, but I still think when she's being guarded by Sutton or Malia Hatchett, that's a good matchup for the Bombers.
Plunkett brings the ball back down the court. Miller on D. Nearing the midpoint of this Buffalo Wild Wings second period, and Miller gets the takeaway.
And she may have gotten foul, or is it out of bounds?
Just an out of bounds call.
Yeah, you're right. And Seven Miller is a really good defender, and that's why I was surprised she wasn't guarding Audrey Plunkett earlier. That's such a good matchup. Now Plunkett has switched off her.
Johnson holding the ball, Plunkett out in front of her, finally passes off to Miller. Hatchett on D. Miller picks up her dribble, has to give it to Knox. Knox fires a contested 3, and Plunkett gets the rebound. That was maybe a little too eager on the shot there.
It's 2 bad shots. She our player of the game on Tuesday for Midwest City, but Chloe Knox has had 2 ill-advised attempts here.
Mitchell looking inside. Hatchett cuts across the paint. Sutton at the elbow. Pass back to Mitchell, and Mitchell has to battle for it. Now Harrell gets around Jones this time and passes it out. That ball is going out of bounds off the hands of Hatchett. Excuse me, that's Kinley Sutton.
That was great team defense for Midwest City. You know, Kennedy Downer was doing a good job fronting Audrey Plunkett, who obviously has a size advantage against almost anyone from Midwest City except for Layla Jones. So Bombers, again, their defense has come to play, but they haven't scored in a while either. They haven't scored at all this quarter, in fact. So that's right now is the new story of the game, is Carl Albert has scored 6 points in a row.
Downer out on the right wing, looking inside. Maybe that's why Knox was so eager to put that shot up a minute ago, feeling the pressure of not scoring in 4 minutes. Now over 5. Again, Knox driving, kicks the ball back out to Jones. Downer in trouble. Passes inside. Miller puts up the floater for 2.
What I've long said about Seven Miller, she is probably the best Midwest City player at scoring in different ways and moving without the basketball. Made a really good cut there, and it's still scored in traffic.
Sutton posting up on Miller. Bounces back outside. She takes the 3. Back iron, no good. Plunkett gets the rebound, puts up an ugly shot from behind the backboard. And a foul will be called.
It's on Johnson. That's not a good reach-in because she fouls Hatchett. Hatchett has a nose for the ball. She's one of the many Titan players that are good on the offensive glass, but that's going to be free throws for Hatchett. It wasn't shooting. She was falling down. So that's the type of foul you want to avoid.
The Tuning Buys Houses free throws. Toonie buys houses any condition. Call today for a cash offer, 405-931-3046. Flat shot by Hatchett.
I could be wrong, but I don't think Carl Albert's made a free throw yet.
They actually, Jakari Brown made both of them on her last trip. But they are not shooting well from the line. Hatchett misses both of them. Downer gets the rebound. And
that's a lot of contact on Harrell, but they let it go.
Yeah, I'm surprised the whistle didn't blow there. And a foul will be called on Plunkett on what looked like it was going to be a takeaway.
Yeah, you would rather the foul, if you're Carl Albert, you'd rather the foul be called on Harrell. It's only Plunkett's second. You still want to be careful because Plunkett will gamble a lot on defense. She's pretty good at it, but then that can also lead to fouls. So she cannot commit a third foul in these next 2 minutes for Carl Albert. That would be disastrous.
4 team fouls on Carl Albert now. That ball was tipped out of bounds off the inbound play. It'll remain with Midwest City on the baseline.
You can see Layla Jones wants to catch the ball close to the basket. Sutton, very strong players, will guarding her really tight. That is quite a physical battle right now.
Johnson driving on Brown. Cuts around to the left side. Knox dribbles off her foot, has to chase that one down. Jakari Brown staying with her on D. Mitchell on Johnson. Jones setting the pick. Doesn't really roll, gets called for the travel.
It's 2 or 3 that she's been called for.
You know, you don't see it get called very often, but the last couple of calls, Layla Jones has gotten really frustrated. Instead of turning around and giving the ball to official, she just kind of dropped it on the floor right where she's at. That could bite her a little bit if they get frustrated with it.
Well, they're making an interesting sub. Jordan Hanna, who I like, but she doesn't always play much in the first half. She's in the game now.
Drive by Jakari Brown, misses the shot. Sutton gets a rebound, misses the putback on an ugly attempt to put it back up. Knox pushing it down the court now. Gives it to Miller, nice dish, misses the layup, and Evie Mitchell gets the rebound. Mitchell needs to pull up. She's got a 1-on-3, nowhere to go. Sutton for 3 from the corner. In and out. Mitchell battles, and we have a jump ball off the rebound.
So Seven Miller will be trying to get there. She was busy boxing out when I think that was Mitchell who snuck in there. Mitchell, of course, is a great offensive rebounder for a guard. And that's why, you need all your players boxing out because Miller couldn't get to the ball in time because she was boxing out someone else.
Deja Douglas checks into the game for Midwest City. Seeing Coach Malloy Knight go to that bench right now. Brown puts up the floater in the paint. Again, just way off target. Ball saved, chased down by Harrell out near what used to be the line of penetration. You remember that, Jordan?
I do. It seems like every time a shot goes up, you can count on one player from each team falling down. They are battling for those rebounds.
Hatchett kicks the ball. Sutton for 3. Carl Albert still looking for their first 3 of the ball game. Battle. Johnson throws it away. Mitchell in the paint. Goes up, fouled. And Downer picks up her first personal.
Now that's Carl Albert basketball. When they give up a missed shot or a defensive rebound, they trap right away. They're very organized with it too. They'll have 2 or 3 players participating in the trap, meaning 2 players trap and 1 player covers the closest guard. And that's how Evie Mitchell got that steal. And that's how they get back into games or when they have offensive struggles. Of course, the free throw line still not being kind to the Titans.
Boy, it is being very unkind to the Titans. 27 seconds left to play in this first half.
Mitchell missing free throws and other good players.
Tootie buys houses free throws. Mitchell hits the second of the 2. Carl Albert has hit 3 free throws on 9 attempts, 33% from the free throw line.
It's any point you get for Carl Albert's really big because you got Jordan Richardson on the bench with 2 fouls and Audrey Plunkett as well. You'll see without Layla Jones, but someone's got to step up for them as they have had such trouble scoring this quarter, only 2 points. They got to finish this possession with a good shot.
And Jordan Hanna holding the ball out top. We're down to 7 seconds. Midwest City needs to go. 5 seconds. Harrell reaching in, no call. Knox for That's a long two. He signaled 3, but she was standing well inside the line. The shot's no good, so it doesn't matter, and it's 15-13 at halftime. The Carl Albert Lady Titans leading the Midwest City Lady Bombers here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
The Honey Butter Chicken Biscuit at Whataburger, available from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. Only it's not that time right now, so it's not available. Instead, we must sit here until 11 p.m. watching footage of the flaky, crispy, buttery goodness that is the Honey Butter Chicken Biscuit. Once again, our desires are denied by, ooh, look, the Honey Barbecue Chicken Strip Sandwich. That'll hold us over till 11 p.m. What a burger.
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray back at Carl Albert High School for the Class 5A Regional Tournament, brought to you by Confidence Chevrolet Buick GMC. From oil changes to major repairs, we service all makes and models. Visit Confidence Chevrolet Buick GMC today. Exit Hudaburg at 6100 Tinker Diagonal, Midwest City. Confidence is Cavender. I want to thank Confidence Chevrolet Buick GMC for being our title sponsor for this year's regional tournament. They are a phenomenal dealership, whether you are looking, just as their ad said, for repairs, or if you're looking for a vehicle, new or used, pre-owned, as they often say today. Make sure you check in with them at Confidence Chevrolet Buick GMC.
And I love they're in Midwest City, and they're like our third quarter sponsor, Patrick Newby, is I could walk to them because they're off at Tinker, and that's an exit I take often. To get home, talking about Tinker Diagonal.
So, Jordan, we're about to start the second half of play here with the Carl Albert Lady Titans leading the crosstown rivals, Midwest City Lady Bombers, 15-13. Close game. It's had 3 ties, 2 lead changes in the first half. No one having obviously much of a lead with the score being as low as it is. Defenses are on display right now. The offenses certainly are not.
Yeah.
And only 3 players scoring for each team. 6 points for Audrey Plunkett, 6 for Jakari Brown, and 3 for Evie Mitchell for Carl Albert. For Midwest City, it's 6 points for Layla Jones, 4 for Seven Miller, and 3 for Sadie Johnson, who has the only 3-point make of the game.
Only 3 made. Carl Albert is a team that I don't want to say they live and die by 3 because they're ahead right now. They haven't made it 3. They're not dying, but it's still surprising. And I think, again, it's Midwest City's man defense has definitely taken that away. So the question for Carl Albert, can they get more points with more Audrey Plunkett? Will she play? She sat out late in the second quarter with foul trouble. Can she stay in this game for Carl Albert to play most of the game? If she does, again, that's where a lot of Carl Albert's points have come when they have scored. It's been one way or another through Audrey Plunkett.
Well, Midwest City has had the ball to begin every period since they won the opening tip. And the third period is brought to you by Patrick Newby, Farmers Insurance. The Newby Agency is your local Oklahoma Farmers Insurance Agency in Midwest City. Their agency is family-owned and operated and has been serving the public for over 40 years.
Downer. That was not a wide open 3, but she hit it. Bobby Lewis happy about it.
The Newby Insurance Agency is located off 29th and Air Depot near Tinker Air Force Base. Come by and see them at 560 West Boeing Drive, Suite A, or give them a call at 405-733-7671. Second 3 made of the game, both of them for Midwest City, and we have our first lead change of the second half. Hatchett dribbles the ball out of bounds. It must have come off the foot of Layla Jones.
If Carl Albert scores this trip, it'll be more second chance points for him because Evie Mitchell rebounded her miss. One thing Midwest City's got to be careful about. They gave up some second chance opportunities to Noble. And Carl Albert thrives on that. If they're not hitting 3s, they thrive on getting offensive rebounds.
Knox reaching in, nothing there. Mitchell behind her back. Nobody in the paint at all for Carl Albert. Nobody cutting. Mitchell camping out. Now she goes in high off the glass. Shot no good. Gets her own board, puts it back in for 2. And there's lead change number 2 in the second half as Audrey Plunkett now has 8 points in the ball game.
Well, there were players to meet Audrey Plunkett, but her size won the day on that matchup, and now Carl Albert with a steal.
Jakari Brown drives right up to the basket and lays that one over the front of the rim for 2. She has 8 points as well.
Offensive rebounding and getting steals and scores, that's what Carl Albert can do to win games when the shot's not falling. And that's how they scored the last two baskets.
Hayden Harrell's been very handsy in this game, and we've commented a couple of times how she was not called. She was called for the foul there, her first personal, first team foul.
She will be as handsy as the refs allow. So if they're not calling it, she's going to keep doing it and try to force a steal. I think she's already forced a couple.
Johnson with the ball after Seven Miller took the inbound pass. We're at the 6-minute mark in the third period, a 3-point lead, and Harrell picks up her second personal foul.
They got her on the hands there, and that's on the pass, of course, not guarding the ball handler, but You know, she will be making more gambles, I think, as the game goes on. It's not the last time she's going to try for a steal, but she's just got to try to do it without making any contact.
Layla Jones driving around Hatchett, puts it off the glass for 2.
That time she dribbled the ball. As soon as she caught it, as we see on the instant replay here, and that prevented any type of travel from being called. Great finish.
I love the way she finished strong and in control at the basket. Hatchett puts up the floater, shot no good. Harrell tips the ball right back to Hatchett. Harrell's in trouble, gives it to Mitchell, and it's Harrell chasing down a loose ball again. Now Brown for 3. Boom! It's a Bobby Lewis Insurance 3 for Jakari Brown. She has 11.
Starting to see some scoring here.
Bobby Lewis Insurance, surprisingly great rates. 2 locations serve you, Choctaw and Del City. Call them in Del City at 405-670-3665.
The initial defense for Midwest City is really good, but they're not getting rebounds. Carl Albert is getting way too many offensive rebounds for Midwest City's liking. And that has led to many second chance points, including that made 3 by Jakari Brown, the first 3 of the night, or the day, I should say, for Carl Albert.
Johnson gives a jab step, dribbles out. Jones rolls to the basket. Plunkett meets her.
They have switched Plunkett on Jones. That's a good matchup for Carl Albert.
Downers threes in and out. Plunkett with the rebound. Johnson staying with Plunkett down the court. Brown for 3. Back iron. Knox pulls down the board, and she's headed the other way. It's a 2-on-2. Pulls up from 15 feet. Shot no good. Jordan Richardson pulls down the rebound. Gets around Sadie Johnson and kicks the ball right back into the hands of the trailing defender.
Just didn't see Sadie Johnson there. Oh, and then the Carl Albert player fell down. But then Midwest City just can't finish. That was supposed to be an easy one for Layla Jones. This could be a big run for Carl Albert coming up.
Mitchell for 3. It's short. Knox with the board, and we've got run going right now. Richardson falls over Knox, and a double dribble called on Knox.
After she got bumped, the refs just decided that was, I don't know, is incidental contact even a thing in basketball? That's a tough no call.
That is a tough one right there.
And the Bombers have gotten a stop there. Again, they're having a hard time, like I said, rebounding. So they had a good defensive possession there, and basically it got wiped off. They're going to bring Say back in to defend Plunkett.
Plunkett with the ball out top. Spins, pivot, screen set. Say switches and is now defending Jordan Richardson.
That's a good switch.
Jakari Brown defended by Layla Jones, and Jones gets called for reach again.
Well, Jones, and they'll say she just reached in a little too handsy there. But she needs to adjust and just simply defend with her hands extended.
Brown out top. Plunkett camping out high. Drops down to the low post. 3 by Richardson, in and out. Knox gets another board. Ball tipped away by Evie Mitchell. Can she save it? No, it goes out of bounds.
When you play Carl Albert, you get a rebound, you have to be careful the whole time with the ball. Evie Mitchell almost got a save there, and that prevented Midwest City from running with the ball there. I don't know if they would have had transition, but still a good defensive play by Mitchell.
Well, she is sneaky right as the possession changes in the backcourt. Richardson with the rebound off a miss, pushing the ball up the court. Harrell goes around Downer, and fouls called on Midwest City. Harrell will go to the line for the Toonie Buys Houses free throws.
You're going to see that once or twice a game. Hayden Harrell will decide to attack the basket and then just draw contact really well by driving into the defense, the teeth of the defense, but she sells it. Not saying she wasn't fouled, but she sells the foul real well, and she learned some Toonie Buys Houses free throws, even though she misses the first.
Carl Albert was 3 for 9 in the first half. They're now 3 for 10 from the line in this basketball game.
This is just one of those games where you got to throw out the seeding, the records. Carl Albert had an exceptional season in their district. Midwest City, not so much.
And Harrell hits the second of the 2 free throws. So 4 for 11, and that's still better than the free throw shooting percentage for Midwest City, who has only shot 1 in the game and missed it. They're 0 for 1.
Oh, offensive foul, Sutton.
Wow. Chloe Knox called for the offensive foul on the drive. And we've got the Super Subs instant replay. Super Subs with the Chicken Phillies. Try the deluxe buffalo or barbecue chicken.
Well, I missed it. I'm sorry to say I missed that, but the tough thing about that call, we got a full timeout by Carl, but it's just that Knox made a good move, but after she jumped, she landed into Sutton, and those charges
and
are
the
a
ball
little frustrating.
The shot was good too, which makes it even more painful. Full timeout here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray back at Carl Albert High School for the Class 5A Regional Championship game between the Carl Albert Lady Titans and the Crosstown Midwest City Lady Bombers. It's 23-18 here in this Patrick Newby Farmers Insurance third period with 3 minutes left to play in the period. We just had a full timeout. Coach Megan Malloy Knight gave the officials an earful, wondering why a charge was called or a player, and probably questioning a couple of other calls from earlier. Right now, it's Say defending Plunkett. Plunkett gets around her, goes up, gets her own board, puts it back in for 2, and it's a 7-point lead for Carl Albert.
Again, the initial defense is good, but it's just hard to stop Audrey Plunkett with her quickness and her size.
Ball tipped out of bounds. The officials are discussing it, and it'll go to Carl Albert.
Biggest lead of the game either team's had. And this, again, is where the offensive problems for Midwest City start to really become glaring.
Harrell pushes the ball up the court, Downer on D. Say switches on Harrell now. Harrell gets around her, goes in, and Downer's going to pick up the foul. And that was clearly a reaching in foul on that one. She hacked her across the arms.
Yeah, it's like Harrell just anticipates when, it's like she knew she was going to get hacked like that. And Downer, you don't need to reach in like that against Harrell. Harrell's shorter. Just try to contest the shot and see if you can force a miss. Even though, again, free throws, bit of a struggle still for Carl Albert.
The Tooney Buys houses free throws. Tooney Buys homes in any condition. If you're someone you know needs to sell a home for any reason, call today for a cash offer, 405-931-3046. Harrell again, just like her last trip, missed the first, hits the second. Downer gets right around Harrell down the court. Now Knox looking, waiting. Overloaded on the left side. 3 by Johnson is long. And Say and Plunkett tangled up. Richardson takes the long pass, puts it off the glass for her first points of the ball game. A 10-point lead for Carl Albert now.
When you shoot threes, you got to have a player back. They call it safety. But Midwest City didn't have that, so Carl Albert gets the long rebound, and they were able to score easily. Jordan Richardson knew to leak out there.
Audrey Plunkett called for her third personal. She and Say tangled up down there. They were on the last offensive possession as well, and it sent Say selling to the court. And I believe there was some discussions with the officials, asking them to watch for that, and they called the foul on Plunkett that time.
So this is an advantage for Midwest City with Plunkett out.
Downer for 3, shot no good. Rebound Sutton, loses it. Knox picks it up, and a foul called on Hatchett.
And the Bombers, they got to think the same thing that Carl Albert does. Try to get an offensive rebound. You're missing threes. You're not shooting well. But Carl Albert takes care of the backside rebounds normally really well, but Midwest City was able to get another possession here.
Richardson sent Selling to the floor. Say gets an offensive board, kicks the ball back out to Knox for three. Boom! It's the Bobby Lewis Insurance three for Chloe Knox.
It's not a coincidence when Audrey Plunkett comes out, that's when Midwest City starts to get some offensive rebounds, and they needed that badly.
Well, Richardson out on the right wing, Say on D. Say is a tough player, a very physical player.
Yes, has good length to her. She can make things happen with her athleticism.
Brown and Richardson playing catch. Richardson drives in, puts shot up, and it's Kinley Sutton getting the tip in.
You had two players for Midwest City defending the shot. No one was on Sutton. That's when you need more players in the paint.
Downer for three. Shot no good. Rebound by Hatchett. Richardson selling down the court. Goes up. Left-handed layup. Pretty and clean.
I think Knox may have underestimated how fast Jordan Richardson is there.
Richardson's got a long stride, and she's quick. She got right around the defense and got down there for that layup. 32 seconds left to play in the Patrick Newby Farmers Insurance third period, and waiting to see if we have a full timeout or a 30-second timeout here.
Players are sitting down, suggest a full timeout. The quarter is about to end. We'll keep it here, but that's confusing. But they are calling a full timeout. This is Carl Albert's timeout. I thought they called the previous timeout, but they gave it to Midwest City. So Carl Albert has 4 timeouts, and Coach Ritchie is giving his players the business, even though they scored 4 straight points, and I think that has to do with rebounding.
Well, it's a 30-second timeout. He just come over and said, get the girls up off the seats and get them back out. So it was a 30-second timeout.
Okay, because Bomber players were sitting down, but that will happen in games sometimes. Coaches don't always make their intentions clear as soon as they like.
Well, and there are not these coaches, but there are coaches out there that'll tell their players to sit down every time, and they won't stop them from sitting until the referees actually tell them to do something about it. So 27 seconds to play, third period. Midwest City with the ball, trailing by 11 now. It's the biggest lead for Carl Albert. Say at the high post, holds the ball, hands off. Jones, baseline shot. No. Oh, it does fall back in. She's had a good touch on the ball today.
She has got to keep being aggressive. She needs more touches, I think.
9-point game. Jones stills it, and
that was a
the
great
buzzer
steal.
Will sound.
You know, she couldn't do anything with the ball when she got it because there wasn't enough time left. But Layla Jones, it's like she knew that Jakari Brown was going to spin. That was a really good defensive possession for her.
And that was a 17-10 quarter, so scoring got going in that quarter finally for a little bit for both teams. It was a little late for Midwest City, but 32-23 after 3 periods of play here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray, Carl Albert High School Class 5A Regional Championship game. The Carl Albert Lady Titans are now up by 9 on the Midwest City Lady Bombers. 32-23 is the score. 17-10 was the scoring in that third period that's given this 9-point lead to Carl Albert. Harrell driving in as Midwest City had the ball to begin this fourth period of play. Harrell throws the ball away for the first turnover of the period. Sadie Johnson driving in. Knox in the paint, ball tipped away. Knox falls down and slides out of bounds with the ball. Turnover for each team.
They just don't have this Midwest City, the fluidity on offense you'd like. I mean, we haven't seen much from Seven Miller on offense. She's going to rest right now. I'm sure she'll come back in, but she needs to find some opportunities to score as well. Plunkett's back in with 3 fouls.
Bringing the ball down the court. Jones staying with her. Hatchett in the paint. Pops back out. Brown for 3. In and out. Say with the rebound for Midwest City. Johnson drives the ball down the court. You know, Johnson's a player that has pretty decent handle. She's quick. Yep. She's got enough size to her. She can drive against a defender. Mitchell gets a steal. She's headed the other way. And ball
nice play by Knox.
And that should be Midwest City ball. Knox knocked that ball away, and it came off of Evie Mitchell's knees and went out of bounds. But it's going to stay with Carl Albert.
One of the Midwest City dads agrees with you. Great steal by Mitchell. She kind of was lulling Sadie Johnson to sleep there, it seemed like.
Talking about Sadie Johnson a minute ago on offense, I'd really like to see her drive to the basket. She's got the handles and the size. I'd like to see her drive in a little bit more, but maybe that's just not in her game.
What a drive by Plunkett. Just completely lulled Layla Jones to sleep. I'm talking about lulling, meaning you just kind of sneak up, whether it's on offense or defense right there. And Plunkett looked like she was going to hand the ball off. And so Layla Jones kind of gave her a driving lane, anticipating a handoff, and instead it was a fake, and now she's at the free throw line.
Well, I had Chloe Knox with 3 fouls already, but they just showed that foul called on Chloe Knox and only 2 fouls on her. So I'm a bit confused on the foul counts right now. This is the Tootie Buys Houses free throws for Audrey Plunkett, and true to form for Carl Albert today, she misses the first, actually misses both of them.
Shocking.
It is.
But if you're going to miss free throws, I guess against Midwest City, who has trouble scoring as well, you can stay in things. Who's that going to be on?
Seven Miller misses the shot. Janae Say goes over the back on the rebound, gets called for the foul.
Hatchett boxed her out well, but they don't always call that over the back foul, which I like it when they don't call it for the most part, but you know there was a lot of contact, and Hatchett did box out pretty well.
Mitchell out top. Carl Albert has enough of a lead with Midwest City scoring troubles. They could slow things down just a little bit if they needed to. Brown at the left elbow passes off. Travel called.
Yeah, Brown had a 3. Looked a little uncertain there.
We are 2 minutes into this fourth period. No one has scored in the fourth.
I think they're giving a warning to Coach Ritchie. Because Ritchie didn't like that travel call.
Sadie Johnson, crossover in front of Evie Mitchell. Be careful, Mitchell will reach in and take that one away. And now Harrell on Downer.
Almost a turnover there. Again, the passing, the handouts from Midwest City, they're just not always as clean as they need to be.
Downer does a good job of stepping around the screen. Harrell does a good job stepping around the screen. Jones, screen, rolls, off the glass, shot no good. Say
blocked.
Travels after the rebound.
Again, you need Layla Jones to be aggressive, but sometimes she just can't complete the basket. She does everything well, just can't get until she has to get the shot to go in, and it just doesn't happen.
Well, it felt like she's had good control on the finish most of the time in this game today, but that was a little bit more indicative of what we'll see for her at times. Plunkett driving the baseline on Say, goes up, ugly shot, gets her own board. Mitchell in the paint, she gets it down low to Hatchett. Ball's loose. Is a foul going to be called on Seven Miller? And it is.
Is that the third foul? Yep. So they only got a foul to give. If you're Midwest City, if you're trying to come back here, you really want to try to force turnovers here, like Seven Miller just did.
Well, Richardson just throws that ball in the hands of Seven Miller, who was in good position. Jakari Brown doing a good job defending Downer in the backcourt. And timeout called by Coach Megan Malloy Knight of the Midwest City Lady Bombers.
Boy, Brown had Downer completely wrapped up there. That's probably a good timeout by Coach Knight. The timeout situation, it has to be wrong on the scoreboard. They still have Carl Albert with 5. They had it at 4 a moment ago, and Midwest City with only 2 here.
What do you do if you're Coach Knight and you're Coach Malloy Knight and you're trying to find some offense in this game? You don't have a lot of time left. You're trailing by 9. Jones has made some good moves to the basket, hasn't completed the shot. Say's doing a good job of getting in there and battling for offensive boards, but she's committed a over-the-back foul and a travel after the rebound, and right now it's the little things. And the big things they're doing right. They're in the right place. They're just not executing properly.
It's just been a problem for them. It's just not having an offensive identity. Kind of started for them really when Seven Miller hurt her hand in preseason and would miss the first few weeks. And I think it's just been hard ever since to get any type of offensive identity for the Bombers.
Say looking inside, bumped by Richardson. She showed some frustration on her face, but no call. Say sets the screen, looks to roll. Richardson stays with her. Plunkett takes the ball away from Sadie Johnson. Say takes it right back. She's going to complete the shot. She gets the continuation and one, and the Super Subs instant replay gives you a great look at this play. Super Subs has chicken Phillies, folks, the deluxe, the buffalo, and the barbecue chicken.
Not much room for error for Midwest City because they have trouble scoring, and you're down 7. So this free throw real important. But what a play by Say, and seeing the ball right in front of her and just going for it.
Midwest City is 0 for 2 at the line in this game. I'd be frustrated if I only had 2 free throws in this ball game the way it's been called.
Yeah.
Plunkett for 3. Front rim, no good. Mitchell, and we're going to have a foul on Sadie Johnson. She just cut way too far under Jordan Richardson.
See the ref making the motion when you box out and you have your hands wrapped around, but from behind you like that.
Well, Richardson.
That'll lead to a foul.
Yeah, and Richardson went up, and Sadie Johnson just kept backing down and cut underneath her where it impeded her ability to come back down cleanly. Say's playing just a good game right now. Plunkett's got her trapped on the baseline, and another timeout.
They're only down to 1.
This has got to be a full timeout, right? No, it's still a 30. Wow. We've had a lot of 30-second timeouts in this ball game. Oh, it is a full. All right. It's a 7-point game, 32-25. Carl Albert on top of Midwest City. We'll take a break on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Whataburger, please Brent back the Monterey melt. Brent back. Okay, yeah, message received. We're Brentfing it back. Grilled peppers and onions, 2 slices of melty cheese, and jalapeno ranch on 2 fresh beef patties. Brent it on. The Whataburger Monterey melt is back. We brumped it all right. What a burger.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray, Carl Albert High School. We've got Joseph Shear up on the camera. I want to thank him for the good job he's doing of staying with the game. It's hard to run the camera and not get caught up in watching the game and keep it going, so appreciate Joseph's work.
And he'll be with you tonight for the boys game. Very interesting boys matchup here.
7-point game, 32-25 in this Louis fourth period. Louis, we're in your neighborhood, located at 6007 Southeast 15th Street in Midwest City. There's a 3 missed by Midwest City. Evie Mitchell with the rebound, gives it to Plunkett. Plunkett fouled by Seven Miller. That'll be her 4th.
That'll be free throws, too, for Plunkett. 5th team foul. Only 3rd for Miller. Well, that we're questioning officials all over the place, but they have Carl Albert for 5 timeouts. I don't think that's right, and so maybe some of the numbers we're seeing may be off.
I think the confusion on the timeouts and some of the foul calls, the communication between this officiating crew and the score table has been inconsistent, and that's created some confusion for us as well.
Yeah.
Audrey Plunkett connects on the first of the Toonie Buys Houses free throws. She's 1 for 3 at the line. Make it 2 for 4 at the line. And the lead is back to 11. Toonie Buys Houses in any condition. Call today for a cash offer, 405-931-3046. Quick foul call of Carl Albert. That one going on Jordan Richardson. Should be her 3rd.
Only the second team foul.
Chloe Knox checks back in for Seven Miller. 9-point game, 34-25.
Oh,
Layla Jones makes a nice move for Layla Jones.
See that again, but Layla Jones saw no one was behind Plunkett, and Plunkett was kind of flat-footed.
And then Jones gets called for the foul. It'll be 2 free throws for Jordan Richardson.
And that's her fourth. That's big. She's got to be careful.
I think some of the fouls that were supposed to go on Chloe Knox were given to Layla Jones in the second period.
So instead of 0 or 1, it was 0.
Yes, because my foul count is completely different. Now, I may have just missed and wrote it down wrong, but I'm fairly certain that communication may have been incorrect. But if you'd think Coach Malloy Knott would be throwing a fit about it if that were the case. So 7-point game, 34-27, 3.5 minutes to play in the Louis fourth period. Jordan Richardson misses the first, hits the second of the Toonie Buys Houses free throws. And a full timeout called by Coach Kyle Ritchie. We'll take a timeout as well here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and ask yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light, and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
call Rob and Will.
Oklahoma Sports Network, Tracy Mussett, Jordan Ray, Carl Albert High School Class 5A Regional Championship game. The Carl Albert Lady Titans have the 8-point lead over the Midwest City Lady Bombers with 3 minutes and 35 seconds left to play in this Louis fourth period. I want to remind you that this year's regional tournament is brought to you by Confidence Chevrolet Buick GMC. From oil changes to major repairs, they service all makes and models. Visit them today. Exit Hudeberg at 6100 Tinker Diagonal, Midwest City. Confidence is Cavender. Audrey Plunkett battles for a rebound and loses her dribble, turns the ball over.
It's not often you see Carl Albert make the mistake when they get a rebound and not be able to advance the ball, but that happened after a great defensive stand by Audrey Plunkett. Now she's guarding Layla Jones, and again, as long as she can move her feet well, it's going to be hard for Layla Jones to shoot over her.
Downer driving, picks up her dribble in the paint. Now double team, kicks it back out to Sadie Johnson. Jones camped out in the paint there a little bit, but she bounces outside. Pivots, tries to get around Plunkett, falls down, kicks the ball out.
Sadie Johnson should shoot that.
Now they're eating a lot of time, 30 seconds, almost 40 seconds off the clock here since we come back from the timeout. Jones in the paint, Plunkett with a block. Brown with the rebound, going the other way. Behind her back around Say, goes to the hole, misses the shot. Battle for the rebound. Chloe Knox comes up with it. Jump ball.
It's just hard for Midwest City. They're doing so many things right, but they haven't gotten very many clean rebounds on defense. They still get the ball, though, because they had the possession arrow, but now Carl Albert gets the next one.
Yeah, keeping the possession arrow and getting a clean rebound, obviously the better option there, but
yeah.
Now taking their time, getting the ball down the court. Jones in the front court. Johnson directing traffic. Jones goes down to the low post, bounces back out, comes out high to set the screen. Be careful she doesn't call for a moving screen as she stepped over in front of Harrell on that one. And Plunkett picks the pocket of Jones. She's got Mitchell going down the court. But Plunkett now shares a little late, and Richardson's going to finish it up. Richardson has 7 points in the second half.
So we've seen the last three possessions, Audrey Plunkett get blocks and now gets steals. She is such a force on defense.
We're now under 2 minutes to play. Chloe Knox misses the shot. Richardson tips the rebound over to Plunkett. Harrell, Mitchell under the basket, good for 2. That's Mitchell's first points of the second half. She was the first one to score in the game for Carl Albert. And it's a 12-point lead. This is now the biggest lead for Carl Albert. Jones for 3, shot no good. Jones knows that they need to score in a hurry.
Yeah. You know, we criticize Midwest City's defense, and rightfully so, offense, rightfully so, as they are struggling. They've struggled a lot this season just to find consistent shooting, but from anybody. But we have to give a lot of credit to Carl Albert, too, especially when they have Audrey Plunkett in the game. She's a defensive anchor unlike many others. There's just not very many players like her in 5A girls basketball.
She's smooth, athletic, has length, and she's very, very smart.
Yeah, but all the Titans know how to position themselves on defense, and they are all tenacious, and they are all looking for steals when they can get it, but they still keep themselves in good position when they do it.
Under a minute to play in the ball game. Carl Albert looking to just pass the ball around and hold it, it appears. Certainly not looking to attack at the moment. And Harrell taken down by Downer.
Okay, we're going to go and call it our Triple Elite screen printing player of the game. I think this one's pretty obvious. And that's going to be Audrey Plunkett.
Yeah, she's had a phenomenal game. You were just talking about her, and you know her scoring. She's at 12 points in the game. Hayden Harrell with the Toonie Buys Houses free throws connects on the first. She has 3 points in the game. They're all from the charity stripe.
It's worth mentioning, of course, last year these teams played in the area championship, and Midwest City won that game. Bombers lost more players since then to Carl Albert, but both teams had to reload a bit. And Carl Albert's, their reload was pretty good with players like Hayden Harrell expanding their role.
And a foul called on Plunkett. That'll be her 4th with 30 seconds left to play in the ball game.
So on that play, Plunkett was not completely vertical, but it was still hard for Jones to score there. It just shows that Plunkett is very difficult.
And that was one of those where Jones was just forcing the issue with the official. She's saying, you know what, I've gone up and had my shot blocked here several times, and I'm going one more time, and you're going to give me a call.
Before I go down there, Tracy, to interview, by the way, congratulations to Del City girls. They're pulling away from Altus, and they will win their first regional championship in 5 years. But
wow.
I'm going to get ready to head down to talk to Coach Ritchie here.
Layla Jones hits the first of the Toonie Buys Houses free throws. Connects on both of them. And she now has 14 points in the ball game. Richardson takes the inbound pass, gets fouled quickly. That foul should go on Sadie Johnson. That'll be Johnson's 4th personal foul. And Jordan Richardson's going to the line to shoot the Toonie Buys Houses free throws. Jordan Richardson with 7 points in the second half of play. Toonie Buys Houses, any condition. If you're someone you know needs to sell a home for any reason, call today for a cash offer. 405-931-3046. Richardson hits the first of the 2 free throws. Johnny Say checks back into the ball game. Chloe Knox takes a seat. Now, the Midwest City girls look a little dejected right now. I know they come in wanting to win this game and expecting to win it, but their season is not over. They do fall into the consolation bracket. Richardson hits the second free throw as well. And there's the 3 by Johnson. Boom! It's the Bobby Lewis Insurance 3. Bobby Lewis Insurance, surprisingly great rates with 2 locations to serve you. Choctaw at 405-281-6700 and Del City at 405-670-3665. Sadie Johnson scores 6 points in the game, and both of them from 3-point range.
Well, I'll go ahead and talk some more before I end up really heading down there, Tracy. Is just a matter of time before this game will end. It is just another tough break for Midwest City as far as shooting goes and finding consistent offense. But again, Carl Albert, the defense is the number one part of their identity. Even though they're known for offensive rebounding, they're known for some good 3-point shooting, or very streaky at times. but still defense is their calling card. And it came through for them big tonight, or today. I want to say tonight because we're usually at night here when we're doing games. And what we're waiting on here is to hopefully, I don't know if we can get any type of report, but the game between Classen SAS and Guyman, I expect Classen SAS to win that game, and that would be Carl Albert's next opponent. And I believe that game will be at Piedmont. We finally got a report. Classen SAS is up 10-4 in the first. That doesn't make sense, but who knows if that score is accurate. And then if Midwest City plays Guyman, and I don't mean any insult to Guyman, but I think Guyman is not the level of a Classen SAS or Carl Albert, and that's actually a good matchup for Midwest City. So they can still get themselves in a position to get to state, and they don't have to play great to beat Guyman, I don't think, just like they didn't have to play great to beat Noble. But if the next game, they will need to be great. They will need to have just a really incredible shooting night. And so that's the hope for Midwest City, just try to get to that game. They're not going to get to it the first time around in the area championship. They're going to be regional runner-up, but maybe they can get to the area runner-up game, and they can get to state that way. It's what we saw Del City do last year after they lost a heartbreaker to Carl Albert. They didn't win the regional, but they still got to state, so it can be done.
And Carl Albert, going back to this game, Evie Mitchell just shoots the Toonie Buys Houses free throws. Downer puts up a 3, shot no good. Jones gets the board, puts that one back in for 2. She has 16 points in the ball game, and that's the end of the game, folks, 43-33. But Carl Albert ended up going 12 for 25 in this ball game from the free throw line, so just a little better free throw shooting and may not have been in contested game at all. 43-33. Is the final score. The Carl Albert Lady Titans win the fourth period by only 1 point, 11-10 the scoring in the fourth period. The score at halftime was 15-13, very low scoring first half as both of the defenses were dominating and both teams were struggling to score the ball. Jordan's headed down to the court to interview Coach Kyle Ritchie and our player of the game, Audrey Plunkett. Player of the game brought to you by Triple Elite Screen Printing. Find world-class designs and hot new styles by Triple Elite Screen Printing. Audrey Plunkett finished the game with 12 points. And Jakari Brown finished with 11 points for Carl Albert. Jordan Richardson finished with 9 points. 6 points for Evie Mitchell, 3 for Hayden Harrell, 2 for Kinley Sutton, and that's all the scoring. The regional championship plaque just being awarded to the Carl Albert Lady Titans. For the Midwest City Lady Bombers with 16 points in the ball game. It was Layla Jones, 3 for Chloe Knox, 6 for Sadie Johnson, 3 for Kennedy Downer, 4 for Seven Miller, and 2 for Janae Say. The Carl Albert Lady Titans are now 26-1 on the season. They have a 17-game winning streak going. And they advance to the area tournament, the area championship game. 1 win away from the state tournament. Midwest City will play again next week in the area tournament. They are in the consolation bracket and have to win a couple of games still before they can make it to the state tournament. Coach Kyle Ritchie down there with Jordan. And Jordan, the mic is yours, sir.
Good, Tracy. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, Coach. I mean, I know you expected really good defense from Midwest City. You had a low-scoring first half. What was the message to your team at halftime as far as offense goes?
I really wasn't complaining about any of our shot selection. I said eventually the lid's going to come off. We're going to make some shots, and it'll be that snowball effect. But what we preach, if the shots aren't going in, you dang sure better play defense. And that's what we did the first half to stay in it until finally we could stretch the lead. Hey, we won it on the defensive end tonight. Hey, I couldn't be prouder of a group. They didn't panic.
Let's talk a little bit more about offense, though. The third quarter was the key quarter, and I thought the key to the third quarter was offensive rebounding. And what did you see there as far as, again, Evie Mitchell but other players? Every shot, it seemed like if it wasn't going to be a miss, they were going to get the ball.
Well, I mean, you can ask Audrey on our scouting report was rebound, rebound, rebound. Yes, you can talk about this end because they're bigger than us, but I thought we could get some as well. And I thought we've been undersized all year. It hadn't changed, but you have to have guts to go ball, and they showed that tonight.
And what did you like most about the defense in particular? I mean, Audrey Plunkett, we've talked to you about her, but on defense, she's such a difference maker.
I mean, she's unbelievable, but she will probably tell you she can't do it by herself. We practice shell, and they probably get sick of it. But when they're in the right spots and they can recover, it takes a team effort because I said we are undersized. And so we have to be in good shell D, or it's team defense, it's team offense, and that's what we preach.
All right, I think you're headed to Piedmont Tuesday night, Coach, and good luck for that.
Thank you.
Okay, our triple elite screen printing player of the game is Audrey Plunkett. Audrey, I mean, right off the gate, though, you were attacking the basket with backdoor cuts and stuff like that. Did you make up your mind before the game that you were going to do that?
Yes, because earlier my shots weren't falling, and I haven't been as obviously aggressive as I was in the beginning season, so I said this game I have to start showing that I'm more obviously aggressive and get to the basket more than just throwing up threes every now and then.
And I'm always interested to see what they do with you on defense. Do you guard a wing or do you guard their post player? And so you took turns guarding Layla Jones some, and obviously when you were guarding her, you make it tougher. Do you ever ask to guard a particular player?
Sometimes, depending on the team. But with this team, I was like, I had faith in my whole team. Anybody can guard whoever they need to guard. And Malia did a great job on her at the beginning. And even though we switched, she still did a great job guarding whoever else she had to guard.
Okay, of course, you lost to Midway City last year. Was this a little sweeter because you beat the Bombers?
Yes, but I wish we would have done it last year with the players that they had.
Right, all right. Well, any thoughts about how you feel about your team heading into the area championship next Tuesday?
I feel very great. I have confidence in us. And y'all know who won Class Center Guyman?
Well, we're trying to figure that out ourselves. That's the one game they're not updating, but we'll try to find it out soon.
Well, whoever we play next week, I'm just ready to play and have faith in my team. We're going to do good and punch our ticket to state.
All right, well, congratulations, Audrey. Very good game.
Thank you.
Okay, Tracy.
And we were back, folks, again. That was Audrey Plunkett with Jordan Ray. Audrey, our triple elite screen printing player of the game. She had 12 points, but her player of the game selection was based not just on her offensive production, though it was quite remarkable at times the way she was able to just make the offense happen. But it was defensively, every player that she took on out on the court defensively, the rebounds, the blocked shots, the steals, just a tremendous all-around performance by Audrey Plunkett, our triple elite screen printing player of the game. And again, the Carl Albert Lady Titans get the win 43-33. Just saw that the Del City Lady Eagles got the win 80-36, the final in that game. So they've won their game as well, and that one in a more dominant fashion. That's the game you had up, right, Del City? Yeah, so 80-36 was the final score in that one. And it is we're still trying to figure out the results between Classen and Guyman, which, interestingly, Audrey asked you about that game. Players won't often be aware or ask about things like that immediately post-game, but Audrey's very aware of where they stand in the playoffs. She asked about the results of that game, trying to figure out who Carl Albert will be playing, and we're still trying to figure out those results as well.
So I'll just say this. What we have is Classen SAS up 14-4 in the second. If that's true, then perhaps for a particular reason, and maybe because it's Guyman who has to travel a different way than other teams. And by different way, I mean a long, long way.
And that was just recently updated, so maybe they started late.
Maybe they did start late. I didn't believe it at first, but it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Classen SAS is not hosting a boys regional or anything like that. So if that score holds, and it's still early, but I think it will, I think Guyman is just a good matchup for Midwest City. So they can still sneak in the back door, as they call it. They would play the loser of El Reno Del City. I believe that's the matchup we'll have. And that's probably where we'll be, Tracy. I expect that to be at Bridge Creek High School. Not that you shouldn't wait to see what the brackets say, but they'd have released the two sites. I think Carl Albert will go play Classen SAS over at Piedmont High School. And haven't seen Classen SAS. That's a tough matchup for them, but I think Carl Albert has the team chemistry, team defense to beat Classen SAS, but Classen SAS will have a couple of really good forwards to throw at Audrey Plunkett. And El Reno did win their game, beating Duncan by 10, so we can. Those will be some of the matchups. So Altus will play Duncan, I believe, also over at Piedmont. So all 4 games we'll probably have on the Oklahoma Sports Network on Tuesday. Looking forward to that.
And the Classen SAS is another team that, much like Carl Albert, very well coached and perennially, annually, every year we'll get those words out. They are there in contention with their girls program. Just phenomenal, the job that they do there at Classen SAS.
Absolutely, and they were girls power in 4A, so now they're up in 5A this year. That's kind of a new they're one of the newer 5A teams, but they've still had a really good year to host. And yeah, they'll be a tough tough matchup, I should say, for Carl Albert, as that will not be an elimination game. But again, I think Midwest City girls, they're still in good shape, but obviously if they want to win, they need to have an offensive, or get to state, they need to have an offensive game that's, way above average for them right now. And they could do it. I still think they have the players, but they just got to really they got to figure some things out, definitely do that in practice. Now on the boys' side, we have 4 regional championships tonight. All of them will be on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Wow.
Elgin Lawton High will be on. Josh Calloway will be going to El Reno for Midwest City at El Reno. I'll be going to Del City for Del City hosting Lawton MacArthur, and you'll be here to host to announce Carl Albert hosting John Marshall. And I wouldn't be surprised if as many as 3 of those games are close. But, who knows? The home team could have a hot night like you normally see. But I think there's at least 3 of the 4 games that, you could see a road upset.
Yeah, interesting matchup that I've got here tonight with Carl Albert and John Marshall. Got to see just a little bit of John Marshall last night. They will push the ball offensively very quick. They don't take a lot of time to set up and run an offense. They're going to push it up the court, take the first shot that they get, not pass the ball around looking for a better shot. And Carl Albert, a good defensive team, well coached by Coach Jay Price. So it'll be interesting to see how that game ends up playing out if John Marshall's able to get Carl Albert running. And if that's the case, does Carl Albert want to play that way, or do they want to slow things down?
Yeah, that's a good question. Carl Albert boys, they also have sometimes had trouble with finding out what their go-to is on offense and sticking with it. And we'll see how they do in this game with that, because John Marshall presented a unique challenge for sure.
All right, well, that's a wrap, folks. We appreciate you for being in our audience today for the Carl Albert Lady Titans victory over the Midwest City Lady Bombers, 43-33, the final in that game. And please make sure you download our app, or, the many different ways at oksports.net that you can access our streams and our content, YouTube, whatever way it is that works best for you. Stay with us and enjoy some Oklahoma high school playoff basketball here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Thanks for watching this presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.